Good afternoon.
Hello.
How we doing?
Doing good.
Good. Good, good, good. We will give it a couple seconds to let more people get on. Hey, Beth.
Hi, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Good, good, good. Come on, leaders. Don't be on agent time.
Yeah, where is everybody?
They're coming. They're coming. Here comes somebody.
I thought I was running late.
I know. I know. I feel like you guys just run all day long most days, so I get it. I was just talking to my MCA in my market center earlier at the front, coming in from doing something. She was like mid-sentence and she looked at her watch. She was like, I gotta go. So I get it. I get it. Here comes more people. See, they're filtering in now. Still on the dot. We're good. All right. Hey, while we wait for a few more people and knowing that, not knowing what kind of day you're having, let's make sure we start positive. Who's got something good to share with me? Who's got a win? Anything from the past week?
Oh, I'm still on, not muted, but I have agents coming into my office. So I have to probably, can you close my office? Thank you. They didn't realize I wasn't on Zoom. Something good. My parents are coming into town tomorrow. There you go.
That's fantastic.
That's 90 years old, so.
That's fantastic. I'll give us something good for you. You have 9 full registrations
There we go.
already, which is freaking
Yeah.
awesome. And 7 of them or 8 of them are ALC members.
7. And I
7.
just got a commitment from another one because I said, why haven't you? She said, I'll do it today. So
I
I'm getting
love
a
it.
little annoying to them, but that's okay. They
You
committed.
know what? It's here, but here's the thing. I think sometimes we label stuff like that annoying.
Yep.
That doesn't mean that they're labeling it annoying. And even if they are, it's the type of thing where usually
No.
they thank you later.
Yep.
Yeah, no, so trust me, accountability is a beautiful, beautiful thing. I love it. Give me
Yep.
one more something good and then we'll dive in. Who's anything great that's happened in the last week or so? I'd love to hear it.
Well, today
Or
is my dad's 93rd birthday.
Oh,
ooh, well, happy birthday to your
93.
dad.
Yeah,
A
so it's
solid run.
exciting. Yes.
I like it. Very, very cool. All right, cool. So let's jump in. First of all, I want to thank you guys for all being here. And my goal today is to cover the Bold team meeting. It is absolutely our most powerful tool to get full registrations, like all at one grab. So I want to talk about that and really make sure that you guys are set up because we've done none of them yet. Sometimes we do them really early on. You all have the ability to get truly set up to have a great one, and you decide how many registrations you want, and we will get them if you run the play like we talked today. So that's the main thing we're going to talk about, and then we'll leave some time at the end. I want to hear if you're getting any type of objections, pushback, any questions you have. I want to make sure that we address that as well. So let's jump into the Bold team meeting. So first of all, and I know I sound like a broken record, and yet I have to be because a lot of you have not scheduled anything yet. Need you to, if you don't have a team meeting scheduled with me or your ALC meeting, please, as soon as we're done here, and if anything, I'll work to end this call like a minute or two early so you can shoot a quick email to me. Let me know when those meetings are. They are our best opportunity to win. And the truth is, like, a great example is Mary Hope. Like, she let me in with her ALC. She let me have the floor for a decent chunk of time. We got buy-in from everybody. We're still chasing a few, and yet we're going to get them. So you guys got to let me do those meetings. So please let me know about that. And then also, last annoying broken record reminder, if you still owe us a roster, please send it so we can start plussing on all of the work that you guys are doing at your level. So the Bold team meeting, ideally, here's what happens a lot. Let me give you the wrong way to do it, right? Here's what happens a lot. I know you guys are busy. Some of you have weekly meetings. Some of you only do monthly meetings. And I know you have a lot of things that you're looking to cram into them. And I get it. And I've been there. I used to sit in your seat. I understand. And if you give me 5 or 10 minutes, we might get a couple of people. It's not going to be impactful. We've got to dedicate a big fat chunk of the meeting to it. And when we do that, we'll get a ton of people. So here's the simplest form of how the bold team meeting would work. All right. You guys will have time for doing kind of your bucket fills and announcements and broker updates, like all the normal stuff you do. I don't need a full hour. Like you'll have time to do that. So you decide if you want to start the meeting with that or end the meeting with that. And yet when we get to the bold chunk, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to obviously announce the bold. The training room should have purple ridiculousness everywhere. It doesn't have to be expensive or fancy or even pretty as far as I'm concerned. It just needs to, we're looking to create excitement. And the other thing that I can tell you that there, just please trust me, your agents will match your energy. And so I've zoomed into meetings before and the team leader's like, yeah, so we've got bold coming. And I'm like, oh my God, like, cause they know you, they don't know me. So if you sound excited, and I don't mean you need to sound ridiculous, like you be your version of excited, yet they need to be able to hear that you are excited about this opportunity and that it really is important to them. So you're going to announce it. You can share any type of thoughts behind it. You know, those of you that I've had one-on-one conversations with, I've asked you, like, why are you doing this bold now? Share that answer with them. Talk about the reasons that it's important to have it. And I would say, don't just go to, hey, we do it every year at this time. Like, go to the fact that the market is changing. Go to the fact, like, really, really let them see why this is important for them. Okay. And then before I ever come in, the next thing you're going to do is I want you to have 2 to 3 people, no more than 3, because the message will get muddy. 2 to 3 people to come up and kind of do a mini bold panel. So these are people who have taken bold before and have some sort of impactful story from it. And the best thing you could do is have at least one that has a great, just straight up business win. Like they sold a ton more houses because of this. They doubled their business because they went to bold, right? An easy, tangible number based thing. And then you want somebody else whose life was impacted. You know, and if you've been to enough bolds, I'm sure you've seen them, right? I mean, I have seen people go through bold where they're fighting an illness, while I've seen people save their marriage during a bold. I've seen people start families during a bold. I've seen people pick up the pieces of a broken fine. Like whoever has a good kind of more personal story, if you get one of each and just kind of ask them some questions and have them talk for a few minutes each, it starts to get people thinking differently and less focused on $799. Okay. So you do your little mini bold panel. That's when you would bring me in and I'll be sitting on Zoom. I'll be there. And that's when you would introduce me. I will hype them up. I will take a little bit of time to teach them something. I'm always going to incorporate some interaction or an exercise to make sure that they're not on their phones, to make sure that they're actually there and present and listening. I will come in super hot with energy and make sure that I tug at all of the strings that get people to take action. And then we're going to full on close in the room. And this is where I've had it. This is where I most commonly have things messed up. So if I repeat it 30 times, I'm sorry. It's because I care and I want you guys to win. We have paper registration forms we can send you, and you have to have them printed out and sitting in that room. We are not, please don't put a QR code up on that screen, because here's what happens. They take a picture of it because now they think you think that they're registering, and all they really want to do is get away with not registering. Or they save the link and they're going to do it later. And we all know how wonderfully easy it is to procrastinate as a real estate agent. So we want them to register old school in the room. So we are going to hand out registration forms and they're going to fill it out on the spot and we're going to collect it. You guys do not need to process those. God knows you have enough to do. You're going to send them to my assistant and we are going to process them. You don't need to do that. We just want to collect the information right up front. Here's the last piece of that meeting, and it ties into the end. I'd like you, if you're willing, and I promise you are able, because there's all sorts of vendors out there. I want you to have a prize wall. And I want you to tell everybody that there's going to be a prize wall. You sign up for bold on the spot, you stand to win something. And a lot of the prizes could be little stuff, things that you might even have lying around, things that you can just write off, like a free month of rent or a free month of office fees or whatever it is. Cash is king. We know they like cash. you start talking to vendors and stuff, and it doesn't need to be big things as long as there's maybe one or two biggish things. And here's what I will do for each and every market center. I will offer a half bold scholarship. So I will be your first prize that you don't need to work out. So that's $400. I will offer a half bold scholarship. You guys can decide how you divide it though. So if you want to do $400 bills or whatever, I will commit $400 to each one of your market centers. Okay. You just, once you actually do it and people win it, you got to let me know so I can send you the money. And yet I'm committing that now. So please feel free to hold me accountable. I am good for it. That prize wall and them having to hand you that filled out form, I have seen close to 50 people register in one team meeting. Because if you pack the room, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. Okay. One other piece, and then I want to allow for questions around this, is getting people to the meeting. We all know that, I'm assuming sometimes your meetings are packed and sometimes there's tumbleweeds rolling through, right? It's a little bit luck of the draw. Is that, or everybody just comes to yours every time, no matter what? Maybe you're doing better things than those. I know that historically they're a little hit or miss. You got to pump this meeting up. Guys, this is a do not miss meeting. You have got to be here on whatever date it is that it's going to be. A trick that one of the older bold coaches used to use, which worked like a charm, is if you actually have people in your market center, I know all the market centers are a little bit different. If you have foot traffic, I would pin up throughout the office. I would have a flyer for the meeting that, says you're going to do giveaways or whatever, and take a blank piece of paper, pin that over the flyer and say, don't look. Literally write on there in marker or something silly, don't look. Everyone in your office will go and they will look at it and it will create a buzz. If you guys can pack it and make it huge, literally you could knock out, for some of you, you could knock out your entire goal just from the team meeting. Some of us with bigger, that might be a stretch, and yet 20, 30, 40, 50 people, it can be a massive dent in the goal. And then here's the other cool thing. When that many people register at once, the spider effect happens because they all start talking about the fact that they're registered. So I'm going to stop and I'm going to open it up for questions. What questions around anything regarding the bold team meeting are there so that you guys are set up for success?
I
bet it's going to be a great question too. Oh, am I frozen? Oh, I don't know what happened. Here I am. Go again. Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Okay, I don't know what happened. I am plugged into the wall, not even on Wi-Fi. I apologize.
That's okay.
Mary Hope, I know you were saying something. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. So our education room can hold about 40 people comfortably.
Okay.
Okay. However, on an average, our office meetings weekly have about 30 in the office and 50 to 60 sometimes online.
Okay.
However, when we have had something important, we've had over 100 people on Zoom.
Okay.
That's the reality of our distance. We have about an hour distance.
No,
How
that's cool.
could is there a way that we could, I don't know if it's a Google Doc where they could fill out and we could see automatic responses, something like that, that could be the same as a paper?
So they could do that, or the other thing they could do, as long as you have like a decent chunk of prizes, right? Like it could also just be like, here's the link in the chat and you must register by the end of the day. If you want to do a Google form though, I'm fine. If you just look at it's very basic information.
Yeah.
I would say I haven't had anyone do that yet. And I love your thinking and I don't want to leave out the Zoom people. I don't care. I just want to make sure we can't, and as bad as it sounds, like, is not, you can't just take their word that they're going to sign up.
Oh,
so I don't
not.
want you giving out prizes to anybody. So I would say maybe think about it like, yeah, if you want to do a Google form or if you just want to do the link, because when you guys get that, I don't know if any of you have played with it yet. When you get that daily update from my assistant, those links at the bottom are live links. So you can
Yes.
click those at any given time and they will tell you who are registered and exactly when they
Yes.
registered. So we can still make it work that
Okay.
way. I would say for the people in the room though, still have the pieces of paper just
Okay.
because there's just something that, especially in a very digital age, there's just something about there's greater commitment when somebody signs a contract rather
Got
than
it.
just
Okay.
so.
Well, Kim probably
Cool.
can figure out the logistics a bit more. And
Kim's
she's good with
Kim's
that.
gonna
But
rock it.
I
And then
just,
Kim's gonna reach out
yeah.
to me if she has questions. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can't figure that out. But yes, I just didn't
I
want,
bet
I
you
don't want to
could.
lose. Well, and we have ideas of how to
No.
bring them. We know we can bring them in other ways as well, but I don't want to lose out those. It will be mostly Zoom people that will jump on.
No, I totally get it. We're not going to stack people in the room. So that works for me.
Okay.
Just give me a heads up, and it could literally be right before the meeting.
oh,
Whatever
yeah.
it is you're doing, let me know so that when I'm speaking, I don't trip
Yep.
over my own tongue, right? Cool.
Kim will take care of you.
What other questions? Nobody? Or are we just being shy and waiting for the people? Mark, go ahead.
Yeah. Do you have a script for us if someone registers in June or the beginning of July and their credit card is, hey, my credit card is due, my new site cycle starts on August 15th or on July 15th or July 21st. Just something I thought of.
Yeah, well, I think it's so right. I think of like objections in the real estate world, right? Like, is an objection or is it a condition? If somebody really, like, if that's really the case, then hey, we wait. And if they're serious about it, have them fill out the form and just put a note on top, like, what is the date that the card can be run?
Perfect. That's
I
it.
have had that sent to. Here's what I can tell you. I've worked with the same assistant for 5 years. She's vigilant. She won't run it until it's time. And with something like that, she's going to get confirmation before she does it. And that brings me to something I wanted to bring up because
Yes.
Mary Hope and I were chatting the other day about just raise your hand if you're already hearing the objection over the cost. Like, oh, okay. Well, it's going to come up. It always does. And this is tough, and I don't know you that well, and I don't know your people. So I promise I'm telling you this as somebody who's sat on both sides of the fence, being an agent and being leadership. Like, here's what I know in a shifting market, the grass is greener mentality comes out real quick. And as your market continues to shift, I believe your agents are probably more vulnerable. Not saying that to be a black hat. It's just, I think it's the reality. And if we're not willing to stand up for our agents, not stand up for our agents, somebody at some other company is going to do it. And if it's the right day, they're going to leave. And so what I'm saying is that when you have somebody say that they can't afford it, I want to challenge you to poke at that a little bit and find out more. Because my easy example that I already shared with Mary Hope is like, I've seen so many people that I know in a bold room say, oh gosh, I can't afford it. And then the new iPhone is released the next day and they're in line to buy it. And so I think that we've really got to help people see that there is a difference between an expense and an investment. And it's another reason, and I know we talked about this on our first call, and I'm going to reiterate it. When you guys are having one-on-one conversations, do your best not to jump to bold right away. Find out what's going on in their world. Find out where the gap is between where they are and where they desire to be, and then bring bold in as a solution. And that $7.99 is not so scary. Now, something for you to keep in the back of your mind is that I will do student loans, which means they would pay me half up front and then they would pay me as they go. I don't like to rely on those too much because every time I do a student loan, I swipe my credit card for the full $800 and then cross my fingers. And so I will do them, and yet I'd like them to be more of a last ditch, like, hey, this person really can't do it, and I know them, and they're good for it. And yet keep it in your back pocket. I know that I've heard from multiple market centers that within your culture, which I love, is agents typically will offer scholarships, your more successful agents. Same thing though, save those for the people who you really know need it. And we are still in, let's not focus on first step, let's focus on full mode. However, if you have somebody who just absolutely is like money, 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 and that's all they want to talk about, just get them to first step. I am I believe that one of the toughest cycles, especially in this business, is I can't afford it because it just keeps going that way. So what I'm getting at is that at step one, anybody who wants to be there and money is all that's holding them back, I'm going to find a way. We're going to raise money in the room. We're going to get creative. We're going to do what we need to do. So last ditch effort, just get them into first step. And yet I really want to challenge you, and I don't mean challenge like this. I mean, I want us to really love our people enough to have deep conversations, and I can't afford it is not always true. So just don't be afraid to have that chat. Don't be afraid to kick them to me if it gets uncomfortable. I'm a stranger. I'll ask them the weird questions if you want me to.
With that,
What other questions? Yes, go ahead.
with that, Hudson, I know you had mentioned that Bold does offer a scholarship. Do we know scholarships, but those haven't been sent out? Do you know when those are going to be sent out?
That's such a great question, and I wish I ever did, and I never do. My guess is they're going to come out soon-ish, like in the next week or two.
Okay,
They don't release the link super late because there's a process to it. When it comes out, it'll get emailed to you guys.
okay,
You got to read all the criteria, or else you're going to have
Yep.
a lot of broken hearts. There's some criteria, and it gets changed so often that I don't want to spout it at you because I
Okay.
haven't seen it yet, and it might have changed again. Here's one thing to know though: the scar only for half. It's only ever
Yes.
for half. I'm sure
Yep.
if you've been around enough Bulls, you know, like no skin in the game means they don't normally
Yep.
participate very well.
Yep.
So it's half scholarships, and if it's somebody who's really destitute, like I will still consider doing like a student loan for the other half, or if you tell me like, hey, they have nothing and they need this, we can use money raised in the room. Scholarships are for half, and if they meet the criteria, they have a really strong chance they're going to get selected, and yet it's not everybody.
okay.
It is
Yep.
normally almost everybody though.
I
who meets the
just like,
criteria.
yeah, I just like the idea of them having to submit something and ask for it formally. That's also skin in the game. And it's another option for agents that I don't feel like we should be taking the full scholarships from of agents that
100%.
are donating their money.
100%. And then I'm just going to throw this out here because it's worked before. I know that I don't know where you guys are all at profit wise. I know it's been interesting. And I will say I have had market centers before loan to their people, like basically put them on a payment plan. Like they swipe the market center credit card, they take a certain amount down, and they just take a little bit each month or a little bit out of each closing. If any of you are willing to do that, that's your choice. I have seen it be really like I think especially right now because things are getting a little bit tougher, even though this is when they should be investing in their growth, people tend to shy away because of the lack mentality. So if you're in a position to do anything like that, let me know if you want to talk logistics. It's a great thing. And if not, I have no judgment. You're running a business. You got to stay profitable. I totally get it. What other questions? Amazing. Are there any other objections that you're getting so far?
Not
Man, you
on
guys
our
are just
end
full of
yet.
questions today. Okay, so here's what I would say. I actually want to. I'm never gonna like take roll. There's a bunch of market centers. I want to know who here. I know we've got our main market center. Do I have anybody from market center 737? Yep, perfect. 440. Yeah, I was gonna say I saw you. 183.
Yep.
Awesome. 463. Oh, we're doing real good. 614. Okay. Are any of you buddies with anybody at that market center?
Which one's 614?
That's Paige.
614.
Westford?
Yeah, Paige.
Yeah, it's Paige. Yeah.
Page.
Yep.
We'll call
I've
it.
had zero communication. I from anybody there. And I'm not saying to call it out. I don't know if they really want to participate or not, and I don't want to be a pain in there, you know what? So if any of you want, like, I've just had no luck getting a response on anything, so that's not a tattletale thing. Just
I
Yep.
will call her. I don't believe, I mean, we probably hosted Bold. This is probably 10th time. And I don't think that they've ever participated, but they're 30 minutes away.
oh, so maybe okay. Yeah, well, yeah, let me know. And just shoot me a text or an email and just let me know what you find out, and I'll react accordingly. Here's the last thing I want to go over just because I feel like, look, we teach our agents to have goals. I want to give you goals to shoot for. Keep in mind that this is following the, hey, let's get them all there before first step. So nobody needs to freak out about their numbers. It's okay. All right. So right now, Market Center 538, you've got a goal of 100. You have 9 registered. So we have 6 weeks from tomorrow, basically. If you registered 15 a week, you'd get there. I know that might sound like an astronomical number, and yet it's really not if you just have a few really powerful conversations a day. So I want to give you something to shoot for. It's not something you need to freak out about. 15 a week for the next 6 weeks would roll you in at 100 full bold before we ever started doing anything in the room. It's been done before. You can do it, and don't freak out. Market Center 463, your goal is 60. So if you did 10 a week, you'd roll in at your full 60 with all we're doing is pulling gravy at step 1. All right. And Market Centers 183, 440, and 737. 183, you do have your first registration, and yet I'm just keeping you guys the same because you've all got a goal of 15. If you pulled in 3 people a week, you'd break your goal. It's just I've never had a half registration, so I rounded up. So if all of you were to pull in 3 a week, you'd hit your goal. You'd actually exceed your goal. You'd end up at 18 each. So think about that. Like, we might get to a point when we get closer where we're having a ton of conversations, and yet the reality is, if you just had a few really powerful conversations each, and if you empowered the rest of your leadership team to do the same thing, guys, we will roll in at goal. And I've done it before, which means we can do it again, and you guys are super sharp. Like, I am not worried about it. So focus on the quality rather than the quantity for now. And when we get closer, if we're way off goal, then we'll go the quantity route. For now, though, if we can just have a few quality conversations and connect with people, which you all need to do in leadership anyways, we will hit your goals so quickly, it'll be the best bold you've ever had, just for that reason. So that's that. So here's my reminder. I'll open up for one more set of questions. I'm going to end you at least a couple minutes early. If I don't have your roster, ALC, and team meeting, please email me now. I'm going to give you a couple minutes back. Are there any other questions or anything you're excited about that you want to share? That's super exciting. Anything your share? No, just kidding. It's all good. All right, my friends, I truly, truly appreciate you. We are going to rock this bold out. We're going to pack the room. You're going to be the #1 bold in August, and everybody's going to think you're so cool because you are. Let me know how I can help you. Get your stuff scheduled with me. We will talk again in a week, if not sooner. Go be bold.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye, friends.